And we're back with the top 8 of this Demonic Tournament Commander 5th edition. I'm Tolki, here with Julien Henry, my color commentator. Nice having you here. We'll jump right into the quarterfinals that have already started. It will be Istan the Wanderer Bard versus Tasigo the Golden Fang, played by Benjamin Jean and Mathieu Hoto. We see a very nice deck box here, and this is the start of the quarterfinals. We are going in.
Same time.
This is the top 8. This is where it matters. So, the loser gets a Jade the Mind Sculptor and a Scourge Pulse Delta. Pretty decent. The winner gets at least a Tundra, and he can go much further than this.
Yeah, of course. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, well, it matters. It's what they're playing for. So, we've already seen Isan in the future match area. It's a toolbox deck that really accrues a lot of value with Isan over a very short few turns with all the untap effects. Mathieu, on the other hand, is a big control deck that will want to kill you with a 1-mana Tasigur at some point while keeping counter up. So what is this card?
It's actually a Sky Shroud Elf, I believe. Sky Shroud Elf. No, that's not that one. Sky Shroud Ranger, maybe? Yeah.
There are some obscure cards sometimes. Yeah, it's exactly this. An idiot. I'm really happy to have you with me. I play a ton of Magic and I don't know half the cards we've seen today.
Well, we still saw some cards that I didn't know from the Zergo player, and I know quite a bit about obscure EDH cards.
But yeah, we've seen new ones every single round. I'm sorry about the glare, but the sun is setting down and it's hitting directly on the players. So we have a turn 1 Ancestral Vision coming from Mathieu Hoto. It will be a bit slow to take on, but it will refill his hand at some point. Have it. So, Cavern of Souls is put in play through the Ranger. Benjamin can therefore go to 3 mana. It's not really a mana acceleration, since you need to have the land in hand, and it accelerates you in a more reliable way if you have the land. It will not get vaulted or anything later.
Yes.
So vision. Yeah.
Also, you have multiple effects that bounces lands to your hand, so that allows you to have lands to play and have extra mana this way, even late in the game when you don't have any land to put in play. With like Crayon Ranger and Scrib Ranger, those two bounces forest to your hand to untap a creature, and that will make you can use the land drop to actually make mana, so that's very good.
Yep. Thankfully, Mathieu had Abrupt Decay on turn 2 to handle the Isan. It would have been a bit hard without this. So Abrupt Decay came in, took care of Isan. It will slow down Benjamin big time. He now needs 5 mana to get to Isan. It's at least 2 turns, and it lets Mathieu set up his game.
Yeah, the Cavern of Souls on Elves was a... Oh, was it on Elves? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe...
Isan is not an elf, so... But on the other hand, Mathieu was tapped out, so...
Yeah, I don't think he needed to
he didn't need that Isan turn, but for the rest of the game, I don't know which one you wanna protect more. Like, I believe Isan is a druid, and many elves are druids, so that would be a good name.
So we saw the enchantment that adds 1 mana.
Yes, it's
Utopia
Scroll.
Oh yeah, and the Isan is a rogue, so a human rogue. It doesn't really work with with elves.
I guess some are rogues, but not very many.
Yeah. So we got Utopia Scroll into Scavenging Ooze. It doesn't. It sort of matters against Tasigur. You can keep. Oops. Sorry. You can keep the graveyard empty. And it's actually pretty important. If you cannot cast Tasigur until turn 6, you will slow him down big time.
It is very good against the Delve from Tasigur, but it's not very good against the activated ability from Tasigur. But of course the Delve is the more important part, and if you can keep the 4/5 off the board, then it means that you don't have any pressure, and your random elves can get through for some damage, which can matter. It's not the biggest threat in the matchup, since Tasigur I assume Tassiger is gonna win mostly through the long game, through card advantage, and Benjamin Jean is not super likely to win through just beat down with the elf. That could happen, but it's not something that is super likely.
Yeah, but still slowing down Mathieu is a good thing. Mathieu, so I saw the Isan, he didn't get countered, so maybe the Caravan is unhuman. It maybe kind of makes sense.
Yes, because if you can have the Isan sticks, then you don't need to have your elf uncounterable, because you can just activate
Isan to get everything. Mathieu played a Vendilion click and targeted himself to cycle a Diabolic Edict. He didn't. It's not very good against Isan. Isan floods the board with permanents, and Diabolic Edict only takes care of one. It's way too slow, so he used it and traded it for the Scavenging Ooze, a good cycling plus 1 for 1. And now Mathieu is searching for an answer to this board and to this Isan most likely.
Mathieu really needs to kill Yisan right now. If he does, it seems to be in a pretty good spot, since Yisan will not cost 7 mana, but if he... upkeep Mystical Tutor, I believe?
It looks like it.
Yes, so if he can deal with the Yisan, which he most likely will...
he get 2 for 1, so he's losing a little bit in the card advantage department.
It depends what he gets. Like, if he gets Toxic Deluge, and it's a 2 for 2. But you really need to get out Yisan. Like, even if you have to bite the bullet and take a 2 for 1, it's way better
than letting him untap with Isan.
Yes, and yeah, that's what he gets. He gets the Dismember because I believe he wants to keep the Toxic Deluge in his deck for a later turn. Like, let's say if he has another tutor and you want to still have access to Toxic Deluge, and yeah, you have Ancestral Vision to come back from the card disadvantage.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. He has Ancestral Vision on the board, which will tick next turn, so he's not in a bad spot. He can allow himself to get 2 for 1 if it's to slow down Benjamin. Benjamin will need to go to 7 mana to cast Isan again, and 7 mana is really a lot.
Actually, it was not an upkeep Mystical Tutor, but main phase Mystical Tutor. And
with Peak to draw it.
Played a Peak, too. So Wasteland and Cavern, that's pretty big. Yes.
And you can go.
So we have 4 mana. Is there any way to top deck for Benjamin to outcast his Primeval Titan in his hand? If he does, that's going to be a pretty big game, but if he doesn't, well, that's kind of bad, because then he is left with not much, and Mathieu gonna draw 3 from the...
Yeah.
Yep.
So Benjamin can resolve some ramp, but ramp is likely not enough in the face of an Ancestral Vision resolving. Mathieu can now cast Tassiger very easily.
Yes, but if you noticed, Mathieu missed his 4th land drop. So
No, he played Wasteland.
Oh no, right, he played Wasteland, so he didn't.
Yeah, he's not stumbling on mana. He has Tassiger up. He just drew 3 cards. I think he's in a very good spot.
He seems to be definitely the favorite, despite having a very good start from Benjamin.
So here we go. And what is this? What on earth is this?
Come on. Imtuturak.
I never saw this artwork.
Well, you have 4 different arts.
Yeah, I always see the one with the wolves.
Yeah, that's a most common one, but
it's okay. I actually never saw this one. Okay, so the birded Imtuturak. It took care of the rest of Benjamin's hand, and Benjamin untaps and goes for Isan.
You put on top. He will probably put it on top because it's starting to cost a lot of mana.
Yeah, he prefers. Yeah, he could draw a random card, but Isan costing more mana than this would be pretty harsh.
We can see Cavern of Souls, Factor Fiction, and an Exclude, which is going to be insane on in Mathieu's hand. Like, yeah, he's going to play Tassiger. Benjamin is probably going to try to play the Yisan because you can't really just sit around doing nothing, and
it's gonna get excluded.
Yep.
You don't draw. You don't have anything, my friend. I'll see if I can do something about the glare. I'll let you talk for a minute.
Let's do that. So Benjamin untaps. He has the Yisan in hand. Will he go for it? It seems most likely that he will. And just as predicted, it seems like a gold target for Exclude. I don't believe he has another counterspell then, but maybe he does and hesitating with it. So it's Vector Fission, Exclude, and some other card I don't see. I believe it's a land.
Smooth.
See. Factor Fiction in response. Maybe that wasn't an Exclude. I believe that's what I saw. So we've got Brainstorm, G-Action Probe, Dark Confident, and Spell Snare. So not all that great cards. Like I'm surprised that Yizan will resolve. So unless unknown cards in Mathieu's hand is a removal spell, Benjamin could definitely get back in the game with that Yizan. All those counter spells are not doing much with
an active Yizan.
With an active Yizan. But it does have Dark Confidence, so he could draw some card. Being at 19 and a Tasigur protecting him from the mediocre beats from elves makes it a pretty good card.
So how did the recent resolve? Didn't he have Exclude?
I think he has, yeah, but he has one unknown card in hand, so I don't know what it is, but I'm pretty sure one of them is an Exclude, the blue one.
Maybe he has Toxic Deluge in hand.
Well, that would make it easy.
Yeah, because if he casts Factor Fiction, despite having a counterspell, it might be that he just has the answer.
Yeah, I believe that's the most likely.
So the FOF here, do you take the counter spells or the card advantage? I think the card advantage is a bit better. Brainstorm plus Bob.
So that's what it took, yep.
And then exile something.
And then the Dust Bolt got activated.
Oh, Dust Bolt for land. Okay. Dust Bolt, which is a pretty good magic card.
So what do we have here? Toxic Deluge. That's a beating.
Yeah, that was
huge beating.
That was kind of expected. It's one of the Commander 2013 cards that made the biggest splash in every format. It's been played in Legacy, it's been played in Commander, it's in every cube out there.
I wouldn't say it made the biggest splash because...
yeah, True Name Nemesis was also pretty big, but Toxic Deluge answers it.
Well, yes, it's not that played that much in Legacy, but in EDH, French EDH is definitely the card that has the most impact. It is huge and played in pretty much any black deck, like even the mid-range deck plays it, such as Doran and Anafenza, because they
it handles 1/1s and everything.
Yes, you have a big body, so you can kill all the small creatures and still get through with Anafenza, which is pretty insane.
So that was a pretty big turn for Mathieu here. He really took the driver's seat. He has tons of cards in hand. He's resolving a Brainstorm. I think he's searching for a land drop for this turn.
So I would say that down to 4 mana, Benjamin is something like an Oracle of Muldaya from the top.
And 2 lands and 2 spells, 2 lands and 2 spells.
Yeah, I mean, Wood Elf's probably not gonna cut it, but because now Mathieu got to untap, and he's going to be able to
activate Tasigur, but
well, that doesn't.
It's a big graveyard.
Well, it helps to seal the deal, but with the Exclude in hand and Benjamin's relevant card being mostly creatures, and if he has a few non-powerful non-creatures, he can, like, there are Planeswalker which can be attacked by Tasigur, like Garruk Willspeaker. Bursting Pod, I guess, could be good if Mathieu doesn't have any way to deal with it.
Yeah, the problem with Bursting Pod is that you need a creature in play to use it.
You have the
if the opponent has a removal, it's
yeah, sure. Like it's super unlikely for Mathieu to have no way to get rid of the Wood Elf and no way to get to counter Bursting Pod. But I don't know. We are trying to find way out.
Yeah, Mathieu is just passionately waiting. Accruing card advantage over the turns. The Ancestral Vision into Toxic Deluge was really big. It really put him so far ahead. Greatness at any cost has entered the battlefield, Bob himself.
So, despite being at 14, Well, he can still die to the Bob, I guess, but it's a bit unlikely. With Tassiger is gonna do quite a bit of damage to Benjamin and kill him pretty fast, so you won't be able to die really fast from Bob. And
I guess he can just kill it himself. He has tons of removal anyway.
Through time, Benjamin drew a homeward pass for his turn.
It's not exactly the most impactful card here.
Not on this board state. Yeah, I don't really see a way out for Benjamin.
Yeah,
I guess technically this could be a 7 lands and deal through time, and he could draw 7 more lands in a row, and Benjamin Jean could draw 7 spells in a row, but
it seems pretty unlikely. Like, Mathieu has tons of selection, will draw 2 cards a turn thanks to Bob. He really is in a commanding position, and he left Toxic Deluge in the graveyard. If the graveyard is pretty empty, he's likely to get it back or dig through time back.
so
He reveals Intuition.
let's see. He probably plays Treasure Cruise. I'm looking for ways for him to die to the Dark Confidant, which is, I guess, the most likely thing. But even then, like, he's probably going to draw some removal spell and could always kill it before he dies.
Well,
So-
with Intuition, he can find one. I'm sure free
Yes,
removal spell with
definitely.
Intuition, you kill him. Treasure Cruise might be close to killing himself, though.
Well, he can get the dig through time since dig through time is already in the graveyard, unless Benjamin plays Noxious Revival, haha, to deal him 8. But I doubt he plays that card. So let's see. 6 damage gets in. Benjamin doesn't want to trade for the Dark Confidant, probably because Bob is the most likely way he's gonna win this game. So he's probably gonna chump Tassiger at some point rather than trading with the Dark Confidant.
Yeah. So Benjamin is down to 19. I just want to check.
Yeah,
So-
I believe that's 2 hits from Tassiger, so it's 8 common damage.
9. He hit once with Toxic Deluge for 1 damage.
Oh right, that's why we have got the 1, sure.
Yeah. So 19 damage, and Mathieu casts the Treasure Cruise, so he's not gonna die to Dark Confidant since there is not any 8 mana spells anymore.
So we see the power of Delve. He casted 3 Delve spells this game. They were all great, and they all costed 1, 2, and 1 mana. So
Yeah, I heard Ancestral Recall is a pretty good card.
yes, well, even if sorcery speed.
I think we can deal with this. So it's a Ponder, Preordain,
Yes, Preordain.
Popper All-Star.
Vintage All-Star as well, because it's
Brainstorm is banned.
well, it's restricted.
Restricted, yeah.
So it's Ponder,
Banned.
so
Yeah, you play anything you can get your hands on.
yeah, like.
But
But if Preordain was restricted as well, you'd play Serum Vision in Vintage, like.
Yeah, but Preordain in Popper is a bit different because it's way better than Brainstorm and
Oh, right.
Ponders that are legal because you have no fetches in the formats.
Yes, I guess you can play Evolving Wilds, but yeah, not that good.
Yeah, you play it, but you don't want to. It's because you don't have a choice.
You?
So end of turn, what is this? Top. There was a top on the battlefield, so yeah, Mathieu is gonna take 0 damage each turn from Bob with a top.
Yes, that game is completely over.
7 cards in hand for Mathieu. He's gonna draw 2 cards a turn without ever taking a single damage. Yeah, the ship has sailed for Benjamin to come back. What does he really need to win in this matchup? It was pretty harsh. What is his game plan against Tassiger?
I think he needs to come out of the gate fast, like if he can resolve the Yizan, and Mathieu being stuck without a removal spell in hand, then starting to activate Yizan will put him very far ahead, and it's going to be pretty hard to come back from because he's going to be very fast to activate it multiple times a turn, and then you can get things that allows you to beat Wrath effect, like Whisperwood Elemental, for example, or even.
It's pretty good to beat Wrath effects, indeed.
Yes. And also you can just die from the creatures, and yeah, you can tutor up card advantage so that when the Wrath hit, you still have plenty of gas left, like Eternal Witness, Yavimaya Elder, Wood Elves. So many cards, like.
So we have Chainer's Edict that is cast.
Well,
He just want to get in twice with Tassiger because it will be lethal. It will be 21. Yeah, 21 exactly.
yeah.
So
Well,
he wants to get in twice, and he will be using his removal aggressively to do so. Chainer's Edict, pretty good card.
Yep.
We will likely play it in modern. I think if it was printed in
So
modern.
Benjamin has no card in hand. Yep. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, we see Damnation and the free
Well,
cards.
What if I believe Matthew still has excluded in hand, but what if no, he didn't have enough mana for Crateroof Behemoth, and even then
It wasn't lethal.
yeah, I know it wasn't lethal, but maybe he could die from the bar, but even then he had the top, so
Yeah, upkeep sir. If it doesn't work, you shuffle in response draw to another card.
yes, or you have the Tassiger ability that you can
Yeah, you can activate if the tab doesn't work. Yeah, like Matthew has had so many outs. It was a lost cause. The Abrupt Decay really made the game. I think the turn 2 Abrupt Decay to stop Yisan from going wild, it made a world of difference.
Alright, so they're shuffling up for game 2. This time Benjamin Jean gets to be on the play, which is pretty big. Having being able to play Gizan on turn 2 with mana elves is
I think he was on the play already.
yes, he was on the play and played a turn 2 Gizan uncontrollable, but Mathieu had the removal spells. That's
Yeah, he needs to find an opening where his Yisan can just activate.
yes, that's like if there are removal spells for Gizan and you cannot really punish him. Like there was some point where he was forcing Mathieu to use removal spell, and if he could have punished Mathieu for using removal spell at sorcery speed by casting Primeval Titan, then he was definitely still in the game. But Mathieu was able to wasteland him out of
Primeval Titan mana.
casting it, and then discard it. So he did not have such opening, but there are some Primeval Titan cards like that can
Yeah, very high impact, big mana cards.
So even if he has removal for Yisan, you can force him to tap out and punish him with those cards such as Birthing Pod and Titania, Protector of Argos, Whisperwood Elemental, cards like that. Yeah, it doesn't have that many. Like Green Sun Zenith can get everything we talked about. Yes, 2 Garruk, the Wheel Speaker,
And the Cooler Beast.
yes, so the 4 mana one that doesn't flip, and the 6 mana one that reveals a bunch of cards
I
to
think-
draw a lot of cards.
Yeah, the 6 mana one looks very strong against Tassiger. It's hard to
Well,
kill, it's
yes.
a ton of card advantage.
If you can resolve it, it's great.
Yeah, you can also put in play your creatures so they're uncontrollable.
Yes.
So I think the 6 mana Garruk is kind of a deal breaker if you can resolve it. And with all the sorcery speed removal he has to do to remove Isan, to Toxic Deluge, I think if Benjamin can find a window to resolve it if he
Yes.
gets to 6 mana.
A resolve Garruk Killer of Beast is gonna be very tough for Mathieu to beat, for sure. But the Garruk Wheel Speaker doesn't seem as good because there is Tassiger and it doesn't match up Tassiger very well. Like it's if you plus it, it does still die to Tassiger attack. And if you -1, you have to champ with your beast. Well, unless you have something else, but
Yeah, it's not as big.
just Garruk on his own does not match Tassiger very well, and that's one thing Tassiger got going for him. It's that it is very good against Planeswalker without having very many answers to them in his deck.
Yeah, it's a 4/5. A 4/5
Yes.
is a big creature.
For 1 mana, it's just so strong.
So we have a turn 1 Utopia Sprawl from Benjamin.
So that is likely a turn 2 Yisan, unless he has no second land or a tapped one.
Well, he kept 7, so I think he has a turn 2
Yes.
Isan.
He does, because he has a force spike. There's days as well that could work.
It doesn't really look like the kind of deck that wants to play Days.
Well, I think you can. I actually think it does. Yeah, it does. It's in his list.
I didn't know the French word for it. It was habitude. I see. Okay, it's Days. He has it. And he just didn't do anything, but he played a Bayou, cracked his fetch. It kind of looks like a decay.
Once again, turn to decay.
Well, he had turn 2 Isan.
Yes,
But it's
well,
a bit
that's what
more likely to have turn to Essence than turn to Decay.
Well, that's what happened last game. Turn to Yisan, turn to Decay.
Yeah.
But
He
well,
goes-
there are quite a few removal spells, like all the edict spells would work. There are Go for the Throat, Dismember.
Yeah, he has a lot of targeted removal that look really strong against Ethan. And that will be a Decay. Okay, he had it.
Yeah,
You can go, my friend. Benjamin will be stuck playing a few more, I think, some ramp here.
well, it does have Oracle of Muldaya, I believe, which is kind of what I talked about, where Mathieu is forced to use a removal spell at sorcery speed, and it actually is not playing Oracle of Muldaya. Wow, that's
What did he play?
It's an Argothian Elder, which untaps 2 lands, so if it resolved, it would have allowed Benjamin to have a huge mana advantage, going up to 7 mana, while Mathieu would have been down to 3 mana. And
To 2, because he had the days. He had to replay his
yeah,
land.
that's right. Well, I mean, if it resolved, so the days wouldn't have
I see.
bounce.
Would have happened, indeed. The Argothian Elder is a very big jump in mana.
So
But the days was very timely here, and I can see why he plays it.
Skull Clown with 3 mana up, it's very hard to counter with. You need to have negate, and that's it.
So Skullclamp resolves, and we have a Voyaging Satyr.
And I believe that's it. Benjamin is out of lands.
Miscalculation. Very good guard in this spot.
Yep. Well, you have to counter the 1-2 because this otherwise it's gonna blank the miscalculation. But still pretty good. Benjamin kind of wanted it.
Yeah, well, whenever Benjamin finds anything else, any creature to play, I think he might come back into the game. He is in a pretty dire spot at the moment. Mathieu had the 1-for-1 for nearly all his spells until then, but the decay already passed, and I don't think he has tons of way to interact with Skullclamp once it's on the board.
Well, it does have some way to destroy it, like probably Nature's Claim, Maelstrom Pulse. Not that many, so I'm trying to look at the deck list to see what he has. Conspels, tutors.
And that's a Yavimaya Elder.
You have also quite a few cantrips to find your solution to.
Yavimaya Elder, who will be condescended.
Yes, I believe you want to counter Yavimaya Elder with a
With
Skull
Skullclamp on the
Clown.
board. That's kind of insane value here. Because he would have ramped, drum 2.
Yep.
So the condescend works. And we have Heritage Druid.
Yep.
The last $10 card, $10 uncommon in Modern. True spike drew very hard after Modern won the
I
Grand
believe
Prix.
Benjamin is very happy to have one since a long time. And I'm pretty sure he has one since a long time, since he's playing elves. Well, we played all flavors of elves since every time he plays Commander.
So we see Oracle of Muldaya and Triskelion. I think is gonna take the Oracle.
Yes, he's reading the Triskelion to make sure he knows what it does, but it's not threatening, and Benjamin doesn't even have the mana, so yep.
You take the Oracle of Muldaya here. It's a big way to gain card advantage and make sure he draws good cards of Skullclamp.
Benjamin can get back in the game by drawing, if he's able to draw a card with Skullclamp and get a Shane going this way. But if Mathieu can stop him from that, that's going to be really tough, because he's left with a 6 mana spell that doesn't do a whole lot and 4 mana.
Yeah, and the Abrupt Decay is the only land left in Mathieu's graveyard, so it will be pretty... Oh, and with the top, he can likely put 2 lands on top. So if he can make sure to put 2 lands on top of his deck and activate a trigger, he will get the decay to
It's
remove the
not
skull.
actually that likely to have it exactly 2... Well, you need 2 or 3 lands on top.
Yeah, 2 lands out.
Oh, right. You can cast Yizan as well. I forgot about that.
It's true that we didn't see him a lot.
Yeah, so if Mathieu doesn't have a removal spell, then Benjamin is in a pretty good shape. Even, well, I see...
Black cards.
Okay, so I believe that 2 cards of Mathieu are Tainted Pact and Demonic Tutor. So, basically, whatever he wants.
Double throw, I see Cryptic Command, I think.
Cryptic Command, Negate, and 1 land, I believe. So not so great on this board though. It's probably gonna, if it's actually lands, probably gonna want to draw it and then tutor. Is it? I believe it's a windswept. Yes. No, isn't? I don't know. Actually.
I didn't know it was legal in Dual Commander.
It is, so that everyone can play with that cool black border.
That
Third edition black border.
this very cool uncommon from Alpha. Not broken at all. Definitely deserve to be an uncommon.
Yep.
I don't see what could go wrong with this.
Well, you know that in Peasant,
Yeah.
it's low, and you can play 4.
Peasant looks like a very powered format. Well, Pauper was the last format where you could play 4 Delver and 4 Treasure Cruise for a long time, but no Treasure Cruise is banned.
Yep.
So, Benjamin goes in, he resolved a Demonic Tutor. I don't know what he got with it. He has no mana left, right?
Let me take a look. So that was probably the card he got, and he had some way. The Yizan is in the graveyard. I believe it was a dismember below.
Okay, yeah, there's a Dismember, which you can cast 1 mana.
Wrong order, which matters in EDH. You don't have the right to put the cards in the order that you want because of some cards such as Friction Clause. But hey,
Yeah, it doesn't really matter in the end.
Yes, Benjamin is not playing any of those cards, and I don't believe Mathieu is either.
Yeah, Benjamin is drawing 2 of the Skull Camp, he drew a Forest, and I think I saw Rofellos, I'm not sure at all. It was a creature.
Okay, yes, that's a Rofellos.
Warfibro.
And that's Lenoir Elf, so basically a Night Whisperer.
Yeah. It's pretty good for him here to just draw X1s.
So he has a crop rotation from his 2 cards, steals a Triskelion hand.
Rofellos, a pretty happy dude.
So yeah, like if he draws a big creature like Punishing, and Mathieu doesn't have many cards. Like he has 1 Tainted Pact left and the top. So he's still in a good spot, but
He has card selection. He can find the right answer.
Mathieu is definitely ahead in this game, but Benjamin could come back for sure, despite it was a rocky start.
So, there was a top activation on the end of Mathieu's turn. I think he's gonna draw for his turn. Rofellos here is a crazy amount of mana with all the forests, so if Mathieu has a way to deal with him, I think he will do it, because 4 mana is a bit too much.
At that point of the game, you don't want to have to spend a removal on the mana accident, but on Rofellos, yes, you still want to, I believe. Especially with Skullclamp, like, even if it doesn't have a big mana card, but only elves, it means he can chain them multiple times and just draw a Cradle, so... Yeah, he is going to be able to draw some cards this turn. He could, at worst, play the Triskelion, equip it, and have the Triskelion kill himself. That's 7 mana to draw 2 cards, that's not good, but Triskelion is not good on this board either. I believe he's playing Crop Rotation, sacrificing Mouse of Ronom. That does only 4 damage, so not that good against Tessigur. And I don't know what he wants to get, probably I'd say Cavernous Soul to have Yizan uncounterable, so that if Mathieu has a counter spell, he has to counter the Crop Rotation, and then Benjamin will be able to play Yizan without a Cavern.
Okay, we see a negate on the top 3 cards of Mathieu Hoto. He has... no, he shuffled with Demonic Tutor, but he found it back. He found it was not the same negate. He draws with stop and goes for negate on the crop rotation, but that means Benjamin can go pretty crazy with the mana here. He can. He has 4 and 3, 7 mana. He can.
No, it actually
Yes, there is another forest, so it can go up to 8 mana. Cradle doesn't do anything here, but
well, it's 1 mana. Like it's worse than a forest, but it could be quite good. Like
yes, it's Isan casts just 2 mana at this point, right?
Yeah, but it's a third time he cast Isan, and it was mana leak proof. Unfortunately for Benjamin, Mathieu
was not Essence Scatter proof.
Yup, that was pretty good. So we still have a Triskelion in hand, and I don't know what the other card is. I don't believe if it's not a relevant spell. I don't believe Benjamin wants to clamp the
Ruffel's away.
Not just yet.
He can play Isan again next turn, so...
Yes, also the Triskelion can just be outcasted to draw some cards with the Skull Clamp, even though it's not great. It's probably better than... Okay, so he has a spell, 3 mana, Reclamation Sage.
He's not gonna destroy Skull Clamp, I think.
No, no,
I'm not sure, but I think he doesn't want to destroy it.
And yes, so now he's going to be able to draw 2 cards next turn, so that was pretty good. And Tessiger doesn't usually play many artifacts or enchantments. Like, he has Sensei's Evening Top, but that does not really count. That was an interesting play though, that if Benjamin had led with the Reclamation Sage, then maybe Mathieu would not have drawn the negate and the crop rotation would have resolved. But we don't know, like, if you do that, then you're maybe not playing around Mana Leak because you're playing your Reclamation Stage before and you get screwed because of that. So it's very tough.
Yeah, when you're playing against a deck with so many soft counters, because in EDH you don't have enough hard counters to be playing no soft counters, so yeah, you go for a lot of soft counters, and it's really hard to know which one you have to play around.
If you want a hard counter, you really have to go to 3 mana very fast. Like, you have a couple before, but... So we have a Tainted Pact.
Tainted Pact, so it's a tutor, perfect tutor, but you have to exile everything else.
And you cannot play twice the same card in the deck, which is not a problem in EDH, except for basic lands. So that explains why Mathieu has a mix of snow-covered and non-snow-covered for a Tainted Pact. And
but he's searching very deep with the Tainted Pact here. I think he's searching for Toxic Deluge.
Jace the Main Sculptor, not good enough. I believe he only has 3 manas.
Yeah, I think it's Toxic Deluge or Bust, and he has to exile a very big part of his library here.
It's still fine. Like, he exiled quite a few cards, but he would need to have 10 cards down the library or something. To
we saw a basic swamp.
Yeah,
I think he might play a second one, right?
We could check, but I don't see any 2 on his deck list. So
okay.
If he plays a second basic swamp, I assume it's a snow-covered one.
Okay, to make sure he doesn't get hit by this when he goes for the Tainted Pact. Okay, he's searching pretty deep for his Toxic Deluge, which he will find at some point, and that's a loss.
Unless he forgets that it got discarded at some point and will exile his whole deck, that would be...
I don't think so.
Is he gonna check at some point? It's like, wait
a second, what am I doing here?
So, how many cards does he have left? I think he still has enough.
Yeah. Well, he needs to win the game afterward. He plays like...
He has a Tessiger. Oh, he actually plays a Phyrexian Furnace, which is a card that cares about the order of cards in the graveyard.
So yeah, it matters. And he's looking, he's shaking his head. He's like, what do I do here? Actually, I'm exiling all my freaking library. Okay, it was a treachery. Pretty nice.
Pretty nice. It wouldn't have been bad, but no.
Maelstrom Pulse, nah, not good enough. He hesitated on the Maelstrom Pulse, but if he handles the Skull Camp, Raphael's comes back.
If he cannot, if Benjamin can, you really want to kill all the creatures. I believe he plays Drowning Sorrow as well, which would do the trick. So he has 2 great hits, and that's pretty unlucky for him. Well, he still has quite a few cards. Like, he's still fine.
I think he stopped at Consume the Meek, and he doesn't want to go deeper. He's searching for the Toxic Deluge, but
I think he's afraid because of. But from what I saw, I think you should go deeper. Like.
Okay, he's going deeper.
Not to be like Leonardo DiCaprio, but
we need to go deeper.
You still have enough cards, and you have 2. You have both Drowning Sorrow and Toxic Deluge with only 1 out. If it's a bottom 5, then you probably lose. But that's
crazy. Like, man, he's seen around 80 cards in his decks, and he's counting 1.
Well,
it looks like 15, something like that.
Yeah.
He can still win with 15 cards, but that means Tessiger activations become very, very scary.
Yes, he's
And
probably not going to activate Tessiger much.
Downfall.
He didn't want the Maelstrom pool. He's gonna change his mind with 10
Downfall?
less cards in his deck.
Ah, well, it's 10 less cards, that's a lot.
Okay, he took
He's
the
taking the downfall. Hello.
He's afraid.
That's settling for not the best.
He's afraid. One of the... Well, he had the Drowning Sword in hand. So
What?
What was he looking for? I don't know.
I have no clue. He had it in hand. He did need to have it, right?
Or did he take that over the Hero's Downfall? Maybe
I didn't see. You can take cards you've seen before with Tainted Pact?
No.
It's just the last one.
You have to choose every time you
reveal one,
you
okay.
exile it, and then it's over.
Okay. So I don't really know what he was searching for, if he had Drawing Sorrow, but Drawing Sorrow was really good on this board anyway. It means that Benjamin goes to 20, goes to 10 commander damage, I think, so he will die in 3 more Tessiger swings. Yeah. So it takes care of Benjamin's board, it really slows him down.
Benjamin
and
is down to 4 mana or 5, I believe. 5 mana. The Cradle's not making any, but yeah, it's 4 forest, 1 enchanted by Utopia's Scroll. So what did you drew?
So yeah, Tainted Pact is an instant, so he did it on Benjamin end step, I guess.
Oh!
And so it top decks the Drowning Sword just after the Hero's Downfall.
That's what happens. But
that's pretty crazy.
but if he did go for the end step Tainted Pact, why didn't take Consume the Meek? I believe he wanted to have the mana right now.
Yeah, it made sense to me too. I'm pretty curious. So we have a draw step click. He has Elvish Visionary, Duplicant, and Triskelion. Elvish Visionary is pretty big here.
Well, not that
With
impactful
Skullclamp.
enough. Oh yes, right. I forgot
It's
about Skull.
it's
Yes,
draw
that's good,
free.
That's great.
It's 3 mana draw free.
Also,
It's pretty decent.
If you take it and Benjamin draws a land, then he can cast Duplicant and exile probably I don't know how many cards there are in the graveyard. That seems like not many. Maybe he can exile Tessiger and it being relevant.
So Benjamin chose to take the Duplicant. He was playing it with a real artwork, thank God.
So
yeah, so we had Duplicant taken, and we have an Elvish Visionary resolving. Benjamin draws a card, will likely draw 2 more, but he's at 16 with 14 commander damage. The life points are not updated, but he is getting low. 14 commander damage is a lot.
yeah, definitely. Like the click adding extra pressure that even if you manage to get some blockers for the Tessiger, the click will kill him pretty fast. 7 a turn when he has to clamp his elves away to... Yeah, and Silver Nightmare is gonna be pretty tough to
yeah, I think Mathieu is in a commanding position at the moment. Benjamin will likely have to champ with his druid very soon.
Well, I don't know about that. Like, maybe he's gonna even wanna draw the cards this turn. It's 2 mana on the following turn, so if he has a powerful card, he's gonna wait. Like, he still has a Triskelion in hand, which can click, kill the Vandalion click and then draw 2 cards. So he's not in a bad spot. I don't know what Mathieu has in hand. If Mathieu has a couple good cards, then he's probably going to be able to kill Benjamin before he got time to really get back in the game. But if he doesn't and Benjamin draws well, he can come back for sure.
Well, I mean, Benjamin has ways to draw. He has Silent Library plus Skullclamp.
Yes, but his cards are not good to come back from a board set where he's behind. He's way better at trying to press his advantage. So I don't know. Like he needs to have some good draws.
Yeah. So the click beats down really fast as well. It's a good clock. It adds.
There is still the Triskelion in his hand, so it's probably not going to go for more than 3 damage. But hey, it's still pretty good, and it's gonna force Benjamin to have to spend 6 mana on his turn, which is good for Mathieu, especially if he can counter the Triskelion.
Yeah. I think countering the Triskelion will be pretty important. And yeah, the microphone is at a good distance for you. Really, it's at 5 centimeters from your mouth.
Alright. Let's see.
So,
Attacking for 7.
I think Benjamin takes it. Yeah, he goes
Yeah,
to 9, 18 committed damage. He has to do something though.
Yep, it does, but he can do some pretty good. He has quite a bit of mana, and Sylvan Library could go. He could go to 1, like if he stabilizes the birds and.
Yeah, there is no reach in Match's deck. If he's, I don't think he has any way to deal 1 damage.
Maybe there is some deck with some card with incidental damage.
Yeah,
but
Counter Squall.
Yes, that's a very good example. I actually believe he plays it. Well, I've seen it in some Testiger lists. So, what's the French name for Counter?
I have absolutely no clue. When you see French lists, it's really hard to read them.
Yeah, I'm really used to English names as well.
Wait a second. Contre-rafale.
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 Okay, so Contre-rafale is in his deck list.
Okay, so he has Counter Squall. He can find the he can have incidental damage if Benjamin goes to 1, but I don't think he's gonna go to 1. He looks very happy with being at 9 life, drawing the exact card he wants.
I mean, if he had three good cards and that he could play all of them, then maybe to get back in the game, he could have gone to 1, and it would have been hard for Mathieu to punish him. Especially since Benjamin could take a look at all those cards that got exiled and if there is a counter squall on it or not.
Yeah, so Triskelion hits the board, it kills the click. I'm very sorry he doesn't use the old artwork. Have you ever seen it?
Oh, that one.
Man, you have to play this Triskelion. You don't have the right to play the new one.
I do really like the old artworks. Artworks in general.
This one is hilarious.
That one is funny.
I mean, the fashion police tells you to play this one.
It's not good. Come on, man.
Okay.
I'm not saying the new one is great, but it's fine. But the old one is definitely not good.
It has kind of a charm, I think. So Mathieu draws attack with Asaguri. He took care of the Triskelion with the downfall he took from the Tainted Pact. And Benjamin will happily block with his druid. He has an Arbor Elf. He has the Sylvan Library. So he can see what he's gonna draw if he activates Skull Clump.
So there is a Fauna Shaman, a Regal Force, which is a 5/5. Like a 5/5.
How do you deal with a 5/5?
5/5 that draw 2 cards when it comes into play. It is pretty good. And
yeah, here on this board.
Mana, so he has the mana to cast it.
On this board, it looks like a strong option.
I don't know what Mathieu has in hand. So, did he just took some damage? I assume it did, because Regal Force seems such a strong play on this board that, well, not super strong, but definitely strong enough to get him back in the game. And
it might be a bit dangerous in the face of removal.
No, but I think it's fine. Like, 1 hit of Tasigur is little anyway, so you can go to 5. Like, the click is dead, and there are not many creatures in Mathieu's deck. There may probably Snap Custom Mage, but maybe it even got exiled on the...
He exiled so many cards with a Tainted Pact.
I don't know, like... Creeping Tar Pit, I guess? That is probably... He's most likely playing Creeping Tar Pit.
So, Arbor Elf untapping the Utopia Spell means he can play the Regal Force as well, but I'm not sure he took it.
No, maybe he didn't take damage.
Oh, but she's gonna play Ethan instead.
He'd rather play Ethan, that's interesting.
It means he can shuffle his library next turn after using the Sylvan Library.
So, what's Mathieu's life total already?
Mathieu is at 18.
Yeah, so like even a Crater Roof is not gonna be enough if he can Fauna Shaman, because he has to trump this turn. Unless we are wrong on the commander damage, but...
No, we are perfectly right on the commander damage, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And that means Benjamin will champ with his Fauna Shaman, I guess. It looks like he wants to keep his...
I don't really get why he didn't, unless he knows something about Mathieu's hand, like...
Yeah, it just says, as the Pernicious did, and that's it. I think that's the 2-0 from Mathieu. Whoa. A very timely draw of Pernicious did exactly with 6 mana, I think.
Yep, exactly.
To go for this. I didn't expect this.
Yep, very, very good showing from Tasigur, having 2 great draws, not letting Yisan untap a single time with his general, which is the key to beat him, because that's tutor effect for free of card is so powerful. So very good showing from
Tasigur.
Mathieu and Tasigur.
He played to his outs. He continued played aggressively.
So game 2 was interesting, even though Benjamin was behind. He had definitely a good shot to come back many times in the game.
Yeah, Skullclamp really helped, and Rothelos gave him the mana he needed to kind of go off.
But
If he had Regal Force, he must be kicking himself right now not playing it, because Regal Force doesn't die of Punisher's Dead, and that's a big difference. It also does Drone Sorrow, Toxic Deluge wouldn't have been lethal anyway because of Tasigur getting -3/-3. We're getting the winner for a small interview. We will have a translated interview as the winner doesn't speak English. I just heard him from here, so we will do a 2-language interview. I hope every one of you is having fun at the moment. This is the quarterfinals of the biggest ever dual commander tournament. There were 179 players and there will only be 4 left. We will have the brackets updated on the link I gave on the challenge link. I need a few results. I will enter this result with the Tasigur, and I will copy and paste the brackets link in the chat. So Tasigur 2-0. Come here.
okay, so some news from the other quarterfinals.
So do you have all the results or
Yes, Zurgo lost in the quarterfinals to Grant Arbiter.
2-1 or 2-0?
I don't know, but Alexander won, so Grant Arbiter got his revenge on Zurgo from previous round, and Florian Chaminet and Moondust won against Vivien Massé, who was playing Click. And the 4th quarterfinal is still going. It's in game 3.
So it's Marath again, Grant Arbiter, Augustin the 4?
They are in game 3, and there it is. So we have a winner's interview from the quarterfinals that you just watched. So Mathieu Otto.
Come here. On va le faire en français, t'inquiète.
Exactement. Tu as un changement où...
Y'a pas de souci, y'a aucun
Bonjour à tout le
problème.
monde déjà.
Félicitations pour ta victoire en quart de finale.
Merci.
Jolie pernicious did. Mets-toi bien près du micro,
Ouais.
environ 10 cm.
Ça marche.
Donc, alors, je te pose la question, je la traduis et après tu réponds.
Très bien.
Donc, première question, ça fait combien de temps que tu joues Tasigur et pourquoi tu joues ce deck? So, since how long have you been playing Tasigur? It's a new commander, but still. And why are you playing this deck today?
Ça doit faire 2-3 mois que je le joue et c'est les jeux que j'ai l'habitude de jouer en construit, des jeux qui jouent beaucoup de bruit, qui
Grind.
ouais, des jeux stables et avec beaucoup de gestion.
Ok.
Des jeux que j'apprécie.
So yeah, he's been playing it for 2 to 3 months, and it's the kind of decks he really likes to play in standard and other formats. A pretty grindy deck with 1/1 removal and, well, good cards. Alors, deuxième question, tu vas jouer en quart de finale,
En
demi-finale contre Isan. Qu'est-ce que tu penses du match-up? So you're gonna play Isan again in the semi-finals. What do you think of the match-up?
J'ai un problème, je sais pas ce que c'est comme général.
Yisan, celui contre lequel tu viens de jouer. Isan,
c'est
le
le
bard.
même nom, d'accord, j'avais pas fait gaffe.
Ouais, exactement le même.
Je pense que c'est un match-up compliqué. Il faut que je fasse attention à pas laisser passer les grosses cartes, Poison Pod, Pince Crâne ou ce genre de cartes, c'est vraiment dur à battre. Et au maximum, essayer de tuer son général le plus tôt possible pour pas qu'il en profite.
Okay. So yeah, the matchup revolves a lot about being able to handle the big payoff spells like Bursting Pulse, Skullclamp, the incremental advantage spells, and having an answer to the commander, Isan himself, because, well, it's a very big engine. Est-ce que tu as quelque chose à rajouter? Parce qu'après on va te laisser te préparer pour ta demi-finale.
Non.
Ok, bah félicitations pour ce top 4, et bah peut-être à très bientôt si tu continues sur cette lancée. Thank you very much. So yeah, we will have another Tasigur vs Yasan in the semi, but depending on the other matchup, we might show the other side of the bracket to show another matchup in the
we're
semis.
probably gonna show the other bracket because we just watched the exact
Same matchup. And it really plays out. You need to have the turn 2 removal for the turn 2 Isan because there will be a turn 2 Isan, and then you need to grind him out, find the good solution.
Not let him untap with Jizan every time, kill him every time, or counter him, and you should win if you do that. But if you miss one beat and that it untaps with Jizan, you are in a bad spot because it's going to spiral out of control very fast.
Yeah, we saw that earlier when Yisan was against it was a green deck, I think, could just go wild.
Yes.
He just did whatever he wanted. It was crazy. In 2 or 3 turns, he won the game just after casting Yisan.
Yes.
So you cannot let him do that, but Tassigur is well suited to answer Yisan. So I think we'll take a short commercial break. It will be likely 5 to 10 minutes until Laurie Risbeck against Nicolas François ends. They're 1-1 at the moment, and after this, we will feature Alexander Loskutov against the winner of this match. We have all the brackets on challenge. I'm posting them continually in the chat, and I'm updating them. See you in a few minutes for the semifinals of the biggest ever Duel Commander tournament.
See you soon.